Well, hello. If you made it this far, so it's week 4, quarter 4 of 2024 of the 60-day unicorn challenge. You know, if you've made it this far, first, I just want to say thank you because you doing the work that you do, wherever you are in the world, I believe that it adds to how good my world becomes. So I just like to start with a thank you. Now, as always, any contribution to my friends at Teach for America Vegas, which is TFAVEGAS.org, is always appreciated. And it's really about you doing the work. The donation to them is lovely. It's why I do this. I have a little surprise about what I'm doing come 2025. But before any of that, I really, really want you to sit with, if there are 7 tips that I love, in addition to the base work. What's the base work? The reading, the writing, the reflection every day. That must become a part of who you are. The science is so strong. I love reading stories of highly accomplished economic engines, people, the men and women who have really made it. And they talk very deeply about how they do those habits naturally. Very, very important. And then, of course, knowing your VIA, your top 5 values. What are your strengths? So that when you're not having a good day, you know that if you've got a love of beauty, what you need to do is get out of the office and walk and see it. And, these things, the front end of this program in this challenge is truly the part that no matter what age you are, the ageless edge starts in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. And it's because you have integrated these habits into your life. Now, so those are the part that came in the first 21 days, one way or the other, along with all the list and the dump list. If I was to pick 7 of the tips that actually get you to do the heavy lifting of looking at what blocks you in your life, I will tell you, it is 21 to 30. It is definitely those tips. So 21, which was where we left off, was the staycation. I want to start today at 22. What is your high story? We all have history, but most of us make it into a really high story. And according to what that story is, whether or not it is how you've got fired 10 years ago and your career was never the same, or how you got fired 10 years ago and became so resilient when things did not work the way you wanted it to work. That's part of your high story. Same exact incident, but is told from a different perspective. You can look back on your childhood, pay very close attention to what stories you tell about your life. And of course, there is a video to go with that. Then 23, we like to rush around a lot. And you really need to ask yourself, is the rushing necessary? Use questions. Pause yourself by actually saying, hey, what facade am I putting up with now? You will learn something about how you pace in your life when it's not necessary. And by doing that, you're actually changing your mood. All of these tips are ways for you to take back control of your mood, your levels of engagement, your ability to think cognitively clearly. So then we have 24, take responsibility. Sounds like what I'm asking you to do in 22 and 23, but it is really done in a different way. When you start telling stories and reviewing the stories of your life, it is critical that you do it with no shame, no blame, and no rationalization. You're just telling the story. And if you notice that you're telling your story with those attributes, that tells you how to recraft it because it is in your own language and in the recrafting of your own language that you begin to boost yourself up. And again, you clear the space to get the stuff done on the dump list, to do the three main activities of reading, writing, and reflection every day, and to use your strengths. It all weaves together. There's no stop and start point. It all comes together. And then that takes me to how do you talk to yourself? You know, the things we say to ourselves without really paying attention. Generally, we are not saying, oh, passing that mirror and say, oh my God, I look so gorgeous. No, no, generally not what you're saying. I just can guess. Just can guess. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. And then it will be easy to do step 26, which is how do you judge yourself? Again, none of these steps are taken in isolation, but I keep trying to chunk down the observation of your thought process for you to constantly recapture how you think so that you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Then number 27, I actually want to read because it's really one I like a lot, and it goes back to questions. You know, you'll see questions rummaging all through. You know, a question is, how could I be so stupid? That's a question. Not the question I want you asking. If you are feeling overwhelmed with a life or business choice, stop. Take out your trusty little phones, which I forgot to put mine on silent while I did this, and use your memo on this and begin to dictate. Like I keep asking you, to write this down and to pay attention to this. Well, the easiest way for you to do it is immediately start dictating what you're saying to yourself into it. You will be amazed, and maybe not in a good way, on how you talk to yourself. Dictate whatever you're thinking into a device that transcribes, then review the conversation looking for real questions that you can ask yourself. What job assignment did I take? Where will I be the happiest? Where will I be the most supported? You will see that in the things that you're saying to yourself, there's a question you need to cultivate in order to move yourself along quicker and in a more gratifying way. Number 28, challenge yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. That is always a good idea, just not every single day. Let's be very clear. Rest periods, that's why there's the staycations, that's why there's, the go chill out, take a day off, take 4 hours off. It's all there for a reason. Then number 29 is about beliefs again. The reason all of these keep getting repeated, first I'm asking this way, then I'm asking that way, then it's a tip to having you do it, is because each time, with each passing day, with each passing thought, you actually can discover more about how to live your life better. And what better way to spend your time than improving your own life? I mean, if you want to think this is selfish and greedy, go right ahead. But I'm telling you, you clear that space and you will be amazed what you can accomplish for you and for all those around you. And then tip number 30, day number 30, you are closer to your goals than when you started, even if you didn't do the challenge every day. I've been at this game a really long time. I do nothing right the first time. And I don't get offended that I have to keep trying. I think that's, the no shame, no blame, no rationalization is deeply embedded in me, not because I make excuses, because that line that you can make excuses or you can achieve your goals, but you can't do both, very, very true. And being able to appreciate that you just doing some of these activities get you closer and closer. What is important is that you make it a routine. That's why it was designed short and sweet. That's why I use so many, I mean, my walks, that proverbial shower, for me, it's walks. I just immediately take this out and dictate into notes. And I do voicemails, the voice memos sometime, but I actually do it into notes so that it's already typed. I'm a visual person and I remember better visually. So when I read it again, that helps, the audible that I have done. Now, I want to stop there. You're going to notice the next 31 to 60 days is again me coming from every corner and repeating things. I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. It is what we have to do to live life. We have to take the very, very simple things that could move us forward and acknowledge, damn, it is not easy to keep doing this crap all the time. I don't like doing this stuff. That's when you take the breaks. That's when you chill out. But constantly having something in front of you is a way to keep pushing yourself forward. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do going into 2025. There is a new book out, and it's written by Carolyn Miller and Carolyn Adams Miller. She wrote a book. I'm going to get the correct title. Creating Your Best Life. I love the book. She is one who went through Seligman's Penn State MAP program and matches science to the techniques so beautifully. So I use her books as a resource guide. Then the other book that I'm going to use as a companion is actually Conscious Luck, which is a lighter version of how you do this. So that if your brain wants the science, you're going to have that narrative. If you really just want to figure out, how do I consciously attract into my life why I am doing these dump lists? Now, what's important about Carolyn's book and is the difference of what's going to happen in 25, we're going to move to bigger goals. Again, no matter your age, I don't care if you're in your 60s or close to 70, as I am, your 70s, your 80s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You can always hold big goals in your life. And combining this work, which is, I consider the Unicorn Challenge the elementary redundancy that you have to build into your life in order to be able to let your brain open up to the bigger stuff. And I invite you to check out my social media, especially LinkedIn or Instagram. Somewhere between November and December, Carolyn's book is so new. I'm actually on pre-order. I'll get it on November 27th. And I know you're going to want to know what the name of the book is. I want to give you the exact name. Since I just ordered it today, let me see. Be patient, be patient. There we are. Big goals, big goals. And you may want to order that ahead of time. The science of setting them, achieving them, and creating your best life. I really look forward to working with this book in addition to Conscious Luck. And I really think the combination of these two, and I'm going to sneak in a lot of my Don't Die 4 steps, because I believe the simplicity of those 4 steps just helps it all work together. So know that somewhere in December, there'll be a very short new ebook on up-leveling your unicorn goals. I will do sessions in 2025 most likely from my friends for Teach for America Vegas. And as always, this work is for you and about you. It is just my pleasure to do it. But remember, when you do the work, it works. Thank you. I am Andrea Goeglein. Please stop back. Please do the work.